Welcome back to another episode of the Gritty Hour. I'm your co-host, Shawnee Boy. I'm here with my cohort, co-host. He's aggravated, folks. How you doing, T?
All right. We're back on Zoom because you had computer issues, which the end user will not know anything about. But this is our third attempt at doing this podcast. But we're back on Zoom. I don't know. It seems to work better than the Zencastr. And I can see the glow and the Gritty Hour guy.
Yeah, I know I'm more comfortable with it, right? I just feel a little more at home here.
Do you?
I guess a little bit, but you know.
Yeah. So now I got to act surprised when you tell me you were just in South Carolina somewhere.
Oh, let me tell you, I got a great story for you. You haven't heard this one yet. Yeah, so I went to go see one of my best friends, my college buddy. His last name is Mutnick, but we call him Mutt. All right, that's his name. But you know, he's got a wife, 2 daughters, 6 and 9. Known them from, you know, I knew he met his wife in college, so I known his wife forever too. And
I don't know.
What's up?
I don't know him.
No, you definitely don't. And went down to Raleigh, North Carolina, which is like the northern central part. From JFK, hour and 5 minutes.
Nice.
Took it. Like, I mean, I do JetBlue, so you watch an ESPN episode, you watch an hour long and blah blah blah, and you're landing. It's unbelievable. It's perfect. But down there, he's got a gorgeous house. It's one of those. Raleigh's kind of like it seems to me like it's like White Plains to a certain degree, but it's got like very up and coming neighborhoods, very suburban. But I had the pleasure of being able to see Duke University, which for me, like, I'm a huge college basketball guy. Just to be on Duke camp, like, listen to how the other half lives, because most of the kids that go there are pretty wealthy, I'm guessing. And like the campus was immaculate. We went into the chapel. That's like the centerpiece of the whole campus. Remind me of a church chapel from England, from Europe.
Is that a Christian university, Duke, or is that a?
I don't know. I didn't know. It kind of reminded me of Fordham to a certain degree. It was bigger than Fordham, but it had that Fordham vibe to it. I forget the name of the actual chapel, but it was, and then like super peaceful. I said to my buddy, I'm like, if we went here, I think I would have got some more studying done. Seems like people are a little bit more concentrated.
By the good thing I like about Zoom is it isolates the person speaking. So while you're speaking, I can, without any compunction, enjoy my ambrosia, which also came from Raleigh, North Carolina, I'm sure. And and you talk, I'll do research. I'm doing research. It was founded by the Methodists. It's a Methodist and Quakers.
Okay. Is this our love letter to Zoom?
Huh? Well, well, I think the sound quality, we got to come to a decision one way or the other, or we could vacillate between the two. But Zencastr doesn't have the isolation feature of who's talking.
Yeah.
And it also, what was the other thing that bugged me about Zencastr?
That my computer sucks on it?
No, but there was something else about Zencastr I didn't care for. Whereby
like my background, you like on Zencastr,
it crops. That's correct. It crops. Yeah, and when you have the largest head in North America, which I do, cropping is a dangerous thing,
I'm not that far behind you, I don't think. But
again, I can see, because this will be uncropped, I can see the Gritty Hour guy hiding in the back, and the lava lamp, which is letting the neighbors know, keep it down because you're doing a podcast.
That's right. They know. They walk by like, Sean, come on, Sean. So anyway, back to Carolina. Okay, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to finish this thought. The Zencastr, I think the sound quality is better.
Oh, so we need to create our own platform where we get amazing sound quality and the same video features of Zoom.
Yeah, man.
Then we'll be billionaires. And we don't need to do this podcast.
I'll tell you, I don't know if you saw Bernie Sanders had tweeted, Bernie Sanders, he's like a from whatever.
Feel the burn, baby. Feel the burn.
Got dust coming out his ass. But he tweeted, we have to raise the taxes on the rich, or the rich have to pay their fair share in taxes.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk tweeted, I have to keep reminding myself that you're still alive. he, tweeted, he tweeted back to Bernie Sanders.
Oh man.
I found very funny. Pat Leahy, Senator Pat Leahy, announced he is retiring.
After 6 years.
I was in grammar school when he was a senator. So
yeah.
But I don't want to get off on a tangent. I'm interrupting your vacation. I like to live vicariously through other people's vacations. So hit it.
Yeah, it's fine. What was I talking about? So at Duke University, it was such like, I went to SUNY Albany. Not that SUNY Albany is like terrible or anything, but like you go to a state school, it's a SUNY program. Anyone out there who's gone to SUNY schools, you know what I'm talking about. And then you see like Duke University, and you're like, oh shit, you know, there's definitely a lot of money at Duke University. And I was able to see Cameron Hall, which is where the Duke basketball team plays. So that was a cool treat. I'm not the biggest Duke fan, but I'm a huge, like I said, college basketball fan. So that was cool. And just,
oh, you didn't actually watch a ball game down there?
No, they're called the Cameron Crazies. That's the name of the fan base, and they sit outside the Cameron Hall. There's like a patch of lawn, and they wait. Like it was like noon. The game was at 8, and there was already like 30 people waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man! I was like, I guess if I was in college at Duke, I probably would do the same thing sometimes. So, but it was just a great. It was like absolutely gorgeous, and it's November. And it's like 75 degrees out. You're just like, wow. Like when you get, like, you forget, or you just don't know when you're from the Northeast that, in November, like for us, it means, jackets in the morning, you get a little bit more grumpier. In the South, you're just still, smiling and whistling and, still enjoying the weather. You're like, oh shit. Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's been kind of chilly here. Actually, today wasn't too bad, but the winter clothes are slowly getting taken out of the closet.
Oh yeah, I mean, so supposedly the next 2 days is supposed to be warm, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then get cold again.
Yeah,
but local man Stormfield says it's going to be a very cold winter. So
yeah. That's just for me. And there's one more thing I want to say about my trip, but for me, it's the wind. If it's windy, then winter sucks. If it's like, obviously it's gonna be windy some days, but like if it's not windy and it's 30, it's not like horrendous. But once that wind picks up, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I know it's been windy lately. Yeah, but if when season 2 comes around, if your desk is closer to that lava lamp, I'll know it's a cold ass winter.
I'll just be holding it next to my face.
Well, I did a podcast last week in your absence. It was like an 8-minute thing, but basically what I did was sort of like a recap where I thanked everybody who's been a guest on our show. I can't believe how many guests we've had already for season 1.
I teared up a little
bit. And was telling our listeners about our live show to kick off season 2, which will be on January the 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I forgot to say Eastern Standard Time in the podcast. So Eastern Standard Time at 7 p.m. on YouTube, the Gritty Hour at YouTube, and on Facebook, Gritty Hour on Facebook. So you can find us both. Actually, you can find the link to the YouTube thing on our website, grittyhour.com. There's a little YouTube icon there. You click on that, it'll take you to our page where all our podcasts, most of our podcasts are on. And Facebook, I guess we should throw that on the website too, Facebook link, right?
Yeah.
Or should I make it a little M for Meta, whatever the hell they call themselves now?
Oh, Jesus. Dude, listen. That whole idea, that scares me.
Yeah, it was like I don't know if you saw that Zuckerberg ad thing he came out with, but it was pretty goddamn stupid.
I didn't see the ad. I just know that, like, he's just like trying to move away from the idea of like the basic idea of Facebook, and he's trying to get people to fucking virtual reality in their lives as much as they can.
Yeah, don't pay attention to that man behind the curtain.
Yeah, it's like
He came out with it to deflect from the fact that they're controlling everybody's life.
yeah. He's like, we're not controlling your lives. Try this.
A friend
Try
of
this out.
mine, a friend of mine, what we call, at least around here, probably everybody calls it Facebook jail.
I don't know what that is.
He got banned for like 2 weeks for posting something political.
Oh yeah. They fucking. There's a word for it.
Well, he calls it Facebook jail.
Yeah, there's
Sit in the corner. See, they want you to sit in the corner like you're 3 years old.
It's almost like they blackball you.
Yeah, this is my point from previous podcasts. They're friggin' publishers.
Yeah.
Give up your exemption and move on, because you're publishing. You're blocking somebody and you're not blocking somebody else. You're a publisher.
Yeah, they're not. It's not a free.
And you're
platform.
violating First Amendment rights, in my view. But whatever.
Yeah.
Because you could see everywhere on the internet derogatory things about former Vice President Joe Biden. The Let's Go Brandon thing is all over the place.
The what?
Let's Go Brandon. You never heard of that? It's all over the place except in Shawnee Boy's world.
Nah. Is it in the Bronx at 280?
In college, it started at college football games. They were chanting "fuck Joe Biden."
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard that.
No, I don't know anything about this.
Wow. Where do you live?
I told you when I tuned out.
You're a college football fan?
No. Zero.
Oh, okay.
Zero. Yeah, I'm college basketball.
Well, I'm not going to explain why it's called Let's Go Brandon, but anyway, it's all over the place except in your computer.
Gotcha.
So, but anyway, I wanted to finish I didn't want to interrupt your story about the vacation.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he has a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, two daughters, and they're adorable, and they took a good liking to me, and vice versa. I took a good liking to them. I spent the youngest daughter calls me Uncle Shawnee, so it was cool. It was cool.
Where's my tissue?
Yeah, oh my God, I'm so emotional. But it was just nice. It's good to get to see my buddy, and then spend time with his family, and then he lives on a street where it's all like 30 to 40-year-olds with kids. So he landed in a perfect spot for where he's at in his life. So I was happy for him.
Mm-hmm. And this is North Carolina?
Yeah, Raleigh. So very cool, very chill.
Tobacco Road?
I don't know if he's not exactly on Tobacco Road, but that whole Tobacco Road concept is out pretty close to where he is. And at the end of the day, it's nice to be able to get out of New York for a quick minute.
Yes, a change of scenery is good for the soul.
Especially
you get into a routine. You get into I don't want to call it a rut, but you get into a daily routine, and it can be unhealthy if you do that too often without breaking it up a little bit.
Yeah. And I've been going down to the Bronx for the last 10 weeks. It's always good to take a break from the Bronx.
Yes, God bless the Bronx.
Yeah.
But the reason why I didn't want to interrupt, but I was saying about Patrick Leahy. Okay. I believe I was in 7th grade when I first became aware that he was a senator, and he's still a senator. It's 2021. All right.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
He must be 90 years old.
He should have retired 30 years ago,
No, he's probably, I would say he's got to be in his 80s. But
I happen to be reading a book at the moment. It's called Empire of Liberty. It was written by Gordon S. Wood, I think his name is. And it's a book about the first, say, 20, 30 years of the Republic after the Revolution.
Yeah.
And one of the things they were saying was at the time, the intention of the founding fathers was people serving in Congress and the Senate as an obligation. People that were businessmen or, fairly well-to-do, feeling obligated, and they would never run for office. They'd be petitioned to accept the office for a term or two. It was what the intention was. It wasn't intended for these people like Nancy Pelosi and Pat Leahy to be Congress people and senators for 30, 40, 45 years. That's not it wasn't the intention.
No, they've turned into careers because they've become millionaires in those positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just the power. It's just, it's no longer.
But that was
Well,
not the original intention of the founding fathers, was not to have these people serve all these years, become career politicians.
Yeah.
And it's not just the Democrats. There's plenty of Republicans out there that have dust coming out their ass too,
It's shitty.
And the topic of term limits always comes up. Who's going to pass that law? Congress. I mean, how the hell are they going to,
Are they going to pass a law against themselves?
Yeah, I can't see that happening. But the argument is, well, there's term limits, like every 2 years, a congressperson has to run for office.
Yeah.
But the thumb is heavily weighed for people that are already in office. It's a really steep uphill climb to unseat a senator or unseat a congressperson.
Yeah, obviously, some people are in there for 35, 40 years straight.
Yeah, especially with all the gerrymandering that's gone on in Congress with these districts, like AOC as an example, it's like an 80% Democratic territory, her district.
Yeah.
So the only way she would get voted out of office would be if she was primaried by someone, which is what she did to the last guy that had that seat, Joe Crowley. He was so satisfied that there was no one going to challenge him that she primaried him in the Democratic caucus, the Democratic primary. So it's just a wicked combination, but these people shouldn't be in these offices that long. No way.
No, I mean, it's not a term, it's a career. That's what it's become.
Yeah, it's been that way from my lifetime. So
yeah, mine too then. Right.
All I'm trying to say is it was not the original intention of the founding fathers to have these guys spend. What did I hear? He had 8 consecutive terms or something like that. Pat Leahy. And Congress is the Senate is a 6-year term. So what is that? 48 years?
Holy shit.
48 years he was a senator. So hang it up, Pat.
And then, well, when's he retiring at the end of in December? At the end of the year?
Yeah, I guess when his term is up next November, he's not going to run for re-election, I suppose. I guess that's what it's going to be. But even former Vice President Joe Biden or Donald Trump, they shouldn't be running for president. They're both in their 70s.
That's what I was actually just going to say that, like, shouldn't there be an age limit on the other end?
What do you mean? What other end?
So, like, for president, you got to be 35, right? Youngest president.
Yeah.
Youngest president, I think it's JFK 42 or Obama 40, whatever, somewhere around the young 40s, right? And then, but you could be 90. I'm not saying that that's going to happen.
No, there should be but there's a whole
so yeah, but I mean, would you want a 75-year-old person to run 80-year-old person to run a huge Fortune 500 business? Maybe, but most likely not.
Well, Warren Buffett runs with Berkshire Hathaway.
There are the outliers but 75-year-old people are kind of on the other end of, like, being productive, and not saying they're not productive, but like being productive at a high level. Like most people don't have the energy at 80 years old to do all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, our current president is, I believe, 78 or 77 or 78. And if you're paying any kind of attention to this guy, you know, he's he's becoming more and more, I don't want to use the word decrepit, but I don't know, whatever's synonymous with that.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know if
Oh,
he's senile or he has dementia or something, but this man is not, his facility, he's not a sharp tack to begin with. But he's 78 years old, 77. He doesn't belong being president. Trump's going to run again in 2024. He's going to be 74, 75. The hell
yeah,
out of there, both of them.
yeah,
You know, I'm available,
Me-
just so you know.
yeah. Listen, I'd vote for you. The oh shit, what was I gonna say? No,
At least someone in their 60s, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
55, 60, 65. That's a good
Yeah.
someone who has good experience of life,
When,
has had a career.
when Ronald Reagan ran for reelection in 1984, they
Yeah,
made a huge deal out of how old he was. Okay. In fact, there's a famous interchange between him and Mondale, where Mondale said something about, or the reporter asked him something about his age. Do you feel like you'll be able to function, whatever, with your age? And Reagan came back, and I can't quote him word for word, but he said, "I'm not, for the purposes of scoring points, gonna point out my opponent's youth and inexperience." You know, Walter Mondale was whatever. But at the time, the point I'm making is, at the time, Reagan was 68 years old. Okay.
okay.
Was 68, and they were saying how old he was. Now you got a guy who's 78. I'm not going to get into the losing of his facilities. If you never heard of Let's Go Brandon, you probably aren't aware of his losing of his facilities. But
Are you gonna fill me in on why they call him
yeah,
Let's
it's
Go
not on the
Brandon?
podcast though.
Oh, all right, all right.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say
But
was,
anybody that's listening, I'm sure most of the people listening to this podcast have heard Let's Go Brandon.
yeah. So I'm the asshole. Got it.
Yeah, no. It's believe me, you're better off in the place you're at, not knowing.
But that's what I mean.
Huh?
Isn't that like like I've said a few times on here, I don't really pay attention anymore to any of it because
You get anxiety
and
reading the news. I know you mentioned that before, and I
like
don't blame
and
you
it's
for
like,
avoiding it.
I mean, they're bashing Biden. I mean, I listen, I don't need to watch the news to know like he's not doing the best job when everything is fucking $3 more. Right, gas is up, food is up, this is up, that is up. I'm like, all right, well, when you give the country, not saying it's good or bad, but when you lend out $4 trillion, yeah, inflation's like obviously inflation's gonna hit.
Yes, I always use the analogy of you're flying on a plane, and you hope for nothing but the best for your pilot because you're on the goddamn plane.
Yeah,
That's how I approached the Biden administration. Best of luck because I'm here. But I underestimated how quickly he could screw everything up in such a short period of time.
yeah, it happened. I mean, gas is expensive.
Yeah.
It's almost $4 by me now.
Well, it's at the bare minimum twice as much as it was before Inauguration Day.
Yeah, so you're just like, okay, The one thing and if I'm wrong, if I'm off, correct me. But didn't Donald Trump?
You're wrong. What?
Didn't Donald Trump, for the most part, during his presidency, make us like self-sufficient in a lot of ways?
Yes, we were gas, we were oil,
And not that, yeah, oil, and not that like he did it by himself, but like he was part of a plan that where we became self-sufficient in oil. We became self-sufficient in other things. I'm not an expert on it, so I'm not gonna pretend like I know it all, but I just know and now that Biden came in, did he turn off the oil from our
the very first thing he did was shut down the
it's like we don't need why my question is why? Like why would you do that?
I don't know. It's all part of the Green New Deal movement, Yeah.
So hold on. Now, if you don't know this next question, we'll move on from it. So if we don't get our own oil, we're being green, but yet we're getting oil from the other part of the world, which isn't green.
Yeah, well, I remember about a year ago, the big thing in the news was how there was a glut in the oil market. Now, I don't want to say anything because a lot of that had to do with COVID. Nobody was traveling, planes,
Yeah, I understand that
flying,
part. Yeah.
you know. Um, but there's a whole uh, Green New Deal movement going on, and that's what's propelling all of these things. Um,
And I'm not against a new green deal and green movements, of course. Like, you want to try to make the earth better, and I'm for that. But like, I just go back to the same question. Like, if we're being green by not using our oil, how are we being green by using somebody else's oil?
yeah, well, I'm for clean air and water as much as anybody else. I mean, there are certain things you can do to ameliorate the perception of global warming. Go ahead, talk, because I'm looking for an article that I read recently, which is quite.
And here's another fucking little tidbit. Aren't we just about done with oil?
What do you mean?
Tesla and that concept is
Oh,
becoming more and more. I mean, I see the Teslas everywhere now,
well,
which means that
a lot of people are under the impression that that's what's driving the price of oil up, which is intentionally pushing people towards alternative fuel sources.
that makes sense. So they're
I think eventually, cars at least will be electric. But people forget, how the hell do you think you create electricity? Electricity doesn't come out of thin air. A lot of it is made from coal. But
yeah.
I digress. But I want to read an article to you.
Oh, holy shit! We're reading articles.
Oh, we're getting on our game here. The Arctic Ocean is warming up. Icebergs are growing scarcer, and in some places, the seals are finding the water too hot, according to a report to the Commerce Department yesterday from the consulate at Bergen, Norway. Reports from fishermen, seal hunters, and explorers all point to a radical change in climate conditions, hitherto unheard of temperatures in the Arctic zone. Following? Exploration expeditions report that scarcely any ice has been met as far north as 81 degrees 29 minutes. Soundings to a depth of 3,100 meters showed the Gulf Stream still very warm. Great masses of ice have been replaced by more rains of earth and stones, the report continued, while at many points, well-known glaciers have entirely disappeared. Very few seals and no whitefish are found in the eastern Arctic, while vast shoals of herring and smelts, which have never before ventured so far north, are being encountered in the old seal fishing grounds. Within a few years, it is predicted that due to the ice melt, the sea will rise and make most coastal cities uninhabitable.
In the next few years.
Within a few years, this is what I'm reading to you. Okay. Now, the kicker is, I'm sure you've heard all of this before, right?
Yeah, the world's coming to an end. I got you.
Yeah. The kicker is the report was dated November 2nd, 1922.
Oh shit! All right,
You get me?
got me. You got me.
Huh.
You got me.
I wouldn't have read the whole goddamn thing if it didn't have a kicker. Yeah.
Yeah. 19. Yeah. So what you're saying is like, yes, it is, but it's
You
not.
you can blame Ford Model A on everything. Yeah. Well, blame
Yeah,
it.
it's the Ford. Yeah, the Ford family for sure fucked it all up.
Yeah. But this is my point. And I personally recall, used to have a class in high school, probably sophomore year, maybe freshman year of high school, called Current Events. And you would follow the news, during the
Yeah.
And one of the things was Time magazine. But I think this Time magazine was from the late 70s. Anyway, there was they were talking about global freezing, like the temperature is going to drop worldwide. So who the hell knows? I'm no expert.
Yeah. No, and maybe the Earth is just going through a cycle. I mean, I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but like,
Well,
you know, these are
I don't know.
these are
about it.
educated.
I don't know enough about it to comment either way, but
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I know that. I mean, it seems a little warmer in November this year for sure. Like, there's a lot of days where it was in the 60s and like touched on 70 for a second. You're like, all right, that's not. You know, when I was a child, that didn't happen.
well, Storm Field tells me, Storm Field is our local weatherman. He tells me I'm going to be freezing my balls off this winter. So I don't know.
Yeah, and
Maybe he
let's see.
read the Farmer's Almanac. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
So who knows, Shawnee boy? I'm just throwing it out there.
Gotcha.
Let's go, Brandon. But there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like at this point, you can only do what you can do. Keep your side of the street clean. So, like, you know, like if you're the type of person who's concerned about the earth exploding, you know, you recycle and you try to keep as least amount of trash as you can, and you know, but it's, you know,
Carbon footprint.
yeah, like, but we live in a carbon footprint culture.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, think about all the plastic that doesn't actually get recycled and just gets dumped in wherever the fuck it gets dumped, the ocean or wherever it gets dumped.
Mhm.
That's, you know, yeah. I mean, you know the story about Mount Everest, right?
No.
So Mount Everest in 1920, you know, maybe a few people climbed it. I don't know exactly. Today, because you can't take it down with you. There's like, it's supposed to be, it's like disgusting. There's garbage everywhere, tanks, oxygen tanks everywhere, just shit everywhere.
Mm.
You know, because so many people have now climbed Mount Everest, but you can't take it's, you know, it's too, like, you can't take it with you. So it's just a bunch of people leaving a bunch of shit all over the place on top of a mountain.
Mm. Well, maybe that's
So,
why the polar ice caps are supposedly melting. There's too many scientists up there, you know, pissing and crapping up there while they're doing their research.
yeah, maybe. I mean, you know, like, yeah, I'm not going to say I know more than a polar, Arctic polar scientist. I'm sure they're well educated and know their shit, but I like, until the whole world changes.
But people don't realize, you talked about Tesla, which is also Elon Musk. You go to a charging station and you plug the thing in, it takes 25 minutes to charge. I think
Yeah, whatever.
they figure it out in miles. So it's, in other words, you know, you put your gas in your car, you're putting how many gallons. With the
Yeah.
electric car, they determine how many miles you're putting into your car. In other words, how far you can go. You get me?
Yeah.
So I think they're up to like 300 miles. You can go 300 something miles in the Tesla anyway, without having to recharge, which is pretty considerable. But what most people don't realize, or don't take the time to critically think it through, is where the hell the electricity comes from. You know, the charging station you're at, where do you think that electricity comes from? But burning coal for the most part. You know,
Yeah,
electricity doesn't come out of thin air, you know?
no, yeah, you like, yeah, it comes from something. But like, so like, but isn't lithium battery, isn't that past coal and oil now?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I was just asking. I think it's all like, you're like,
Lithium. I'm sure it's one of the noble whatever, but you know, I have no idea. So it's above my pay.
like your cell phone, right? All these have a lithium battery in them. I don't know what the fuck is. I couldn't, you know, I don't, what the fuck do I know? I just know that I plug my iPhone in for an hour and it's charged for the
It
day.
screws up your Zencaster.
Yeah, and it fucks my Zencaster up big fucking time. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it.
Yeah.
With this global warming. The global warming is coming. All right. Well, no one's really telling me what to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's something that like on one side, people are saying it's a bunch of bullshit. The other side, people are saying it's
Right.
scientifically proven. You have to like critically think through both sides, because there's a whole big pile of bullshit on both ends of this of the argument.
Yeah, and there's agendas, right? There's always an agenda.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like
So,
you have like this is like this the 4 out of 5 dentists recommend whatever. You have a lot of percentage of scientists that all agree about the globe is warming, right?
yeah, because the government's going to give them grants that
Well, you
they're
have
hoping.
to ask yourself, how are they getting paid? Scientists,
Yeah,
it's not like working in a supermarket. You're getting your money somewhere.
yeah,
They're all coming from government grants or
yeah. They're federally funded.
via government grants via places like Duke University, which is
Yeah.
primarily a research university, right?
Yeah, it's got a science department and a medical department and all
That's
that.
my point. But these scientists all work there, right? Or do their studies via colleges or direct grants from the government.
Yeah.
And if you're a scientist and you come out and say global warming is a bunch of bullshit, you might not get that check next week.
Gotcha.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But we discussed this a couple of podcasts ago, that what's missing in a lot of the arguments on a lot of the different subjects that people are arguing about is critical thinking. Everything that's in the news today, critical race theory, global warming, whatever. People aren't critically thinking, like analyzing it, thinking things through. Is like, what's behind this story? What's the story behind the story?
Yeah, because they've been talking about global warming since like the late '90s. It's not like this isn't fucking new.
No, I remember that. The big
That was the Al Gore shit.
hole in the ozone layer. If you remember that, you don't hear that no more.
And now no one talks about the ozone layer anymore. And I'm not saying that global warming isn't happening. I'm not educated enough to know if it is or if it isn't.
I'm saying the same thing you are.
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
there's two things I do. Well, one thing I know for sure, the weather is different than when I was a kid in the 80s.
I agree with
sure.
that. I agree with that.
I mean, but it's like it's more sporadic and there's like more aggressive storms you see.
Definitely.
For sure.
Things like tornadoes in the New York area was unheard of.
Like last winter, it didn't snow, and then February it snowed like every other day for like 3 weeks. You're like, oh shit, all right. Like
January, we had a day or two that was in the 70s.
Yeah, so like the weather is a little all over the place. It's a little confused. It's like this past week or two. It's November. What's today? The 16th. So November 10th, let's call it. Like it's 68 degrees out and sunny, and like you're like, oh, it's still got like it's still that what's it called that Indian summer. I don't know if that's politically correct anymore, but
American summer.
It's human being summer, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But like, so that I know is different. What I've heard is, and this is just cut to the global warming, of all the recycling that at least America does, maybe 20% of it actually gets recycled.
What happens to the other 80?
They just toss it. That's what I heard. I'm not saying I'm 100% right about that type of information, but I heard that from more than one person. I've heard that from a few people in my life. That it's just not cost effective or whatever the fancy economic words are for it.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Have we taken a big? Have we been nice to the earth and the ground that we've been grateful enough to have? No, definitely not.
No.
It's pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the whole world is doing it now.
Yeah.
It's not just.
I always think back to whenever we talk about this, and what we have to do. God bless you. My God, are you okay?
Thank you. I tried to cover that up, but
that's all right. I heard you. But um, the United States has to do this, that, and the other thing. And I always think about when Nixon first visited China, I think it was 1972.
Yeah,
It was a big deal because China was like an isolated country. It's before they were before they were part of the WTO, and before they were given most favored nation status by us. Everybody, when they showed the news reports from China, when he was going into Beijing, there was like tens of thousands of people on bicycles in Beijing. That's how they got around, on bikes. If you look at them now, they're driving these. Everybody's just had a bike is driving a car, and they actually have days where you can't drive a car because you can't see because of the smog in Beijing.
I believe it.
But we're the ones that have to, just say it.
No, yeah. The whole world is an industrialistic type of world, generally speaking. I know there's still places that are rural and agricultural based, but like the whole world knows, the money's in making fucking things and building things and manufacturing and whatever.
And where does it come from? China, So
yeah,
all these people that were at that summit last week, 2 weeks ago, that Biden nodded off at.
Really not off it?
He fell asleep. Yeah.
At the actual meeting?
For like 20 seconds. Yeah. Let's go, Brandon. But anyway, all these people, they want America to do this, that, and the other thing. Well, what about China? They're not going to screw with China because that's where they get all their crap from,
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my, I've always relied on my gut, and I've always tried to be a critical thinker when BS comes my way, And this is a nonpartisan thing I'm telling you. There's plenty of BS comes from the right, plenty of BS comes from the left.
For sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one more thing about with global warming. I lost my thought. It just disappeared.
Oh, I was going to use that to relight my ambrosia.
That's okay.
I do miss about Zoom, so I don't know. Maybe we'll go with Zoom.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll vacillate between Zoom and Zencastr. Keep it fresh,
Yeah, well, keep people on their toes. What are they doing over there?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess to wrap up, at the end of the day, all you can do is keep. You laughing at me?
Yes. Because you're getting. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to this nonsense that's about to come out of his fucking mouth. At the end of the day, all you can do is kiss up to God and see.
Yes. You throw caution to the wind and you go out.
Yeah. Pray to the ones.
So
anyway.
I'm going to be seeing you on Thanksgiving.
Oh, so that's in a week.
What, my invitation was canceled? You forgot to tell me?
No. It's going to be you, me, the podcast twins. I'm sure that will be brought up at some point during the day. Oh, you guys do it. Oh, yeah. Why don't you tell us a little more about it? Yeah. Shut up.
Just listen to it.
Yeah. And then there's 8 of us.
Oh, because yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the Tammy's father.
Tammy's father and your mother.
Your mother.
Yeah.
Your sister, my aunt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your nephew, brother.
Yes.
Your niece-in-law, my sister-in-law, and then you're the grand uncle. So
yeah, the grand. I like that. See, you remembered.
Yeah, you get to be the
great uncle. I want to be great.
You get to be the grand uncle for a day. You better fucking deliver.
Oh, don't I always deliver at the family get-togethers?
Yes, you do. Yes, you
don't
do.
I always
usually at the expense.
People laugh. Huh?
Yes, usually at the expense of me.
Come on. I'm an equal opportunity ball buster. Yeah.
There's nothing better than when we eat dinner, we eat Thanksgiving dinner, and then we sit down around Keith and Tam's table, and you just know there's going to be some good laughter going on.
Yes, as Abraham Lincoln once said, who initiated Thanksgiving as a holiday.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did.
Guy that chopped down the tree. Got it.
And among his two of his most favorite quotes of mine, one, there's no meal like a free meal. And two, don't believe everything you hear on the internet.
Yeah, you, and for anyone that's listening, he does really do say those throughout my lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing like a free meal. I've heard that since I was a kid.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
I made that up, but I'm pretty sure that was
Yeah.
handed down to me by somebody.
And then you used to do this joke. I didn't carry on this joke. I just didn't think I could deliver it like you do. You would be like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 12." You're like, "When that was your age, I was 13."
Oh yeah, I got that from my uncle Lenny Allen.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Any Allens that are listening,
Maybe I should pass that
with your
down
father
to
that gave it.
Christopher.
Huh?
Maybe I should pass that down then.
Yeah.
I said Christopher to Colin.
Colin, yes. Well, pass it to Christopher. Let him pass it to Colin. So Christopher, I think, so I alluded to this in the podcast that came out, my 8-minute blurb that I came out with when you were on vacation.
Yeah. Your stellar blurb.
I was a little under the weather and I had to cancel this fella that was going to come in, the doctor.
This guy. I used to walk to school with no shoes. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I had to cancel. It wasn't his fault. He was actually on his way, so I'm glad I called him before he got here. But anyway, Christopher, we'll do another one with Christopher. I think we'll talk about music again in season 2.
Christopher,
your godson.
Christopher.
Yeah, you're my godson.
Christopher. Yeah, I'm about to say I'm a year older than him. That's a little weird, but Christopher is he's on the end of the bench right now. He's the 12th man. We'll see.
No, I still want to see his office. He has a new office down there.
You know, I'm just busting balls.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about season 2. We have as you know, I can't say yet, but you know, we have a lot of pretty fancy dancy guests coming.
Yeah, I mean, we're turning a corner. I think we're taking it to another step forward, which is awesome. Before we get into that, I had a question for you.
I'm here.
Okay, all right. What I mean, we kind of just went to Thanksgiving, and then what do you look forward to eating at Thanksgiving? What's the dish? What's the particular thing? What do you like to? What's the go-to? I can't wait to eat on Thanksgiving.
I don't know. It's about gathering with family. It really is.
Okay. Here we
But
go.
no, what I usually ends up happening, you'll have a few beers and then all that crap that your sister-in-law puts out with the dips and the chips and the this, that, and the other thing. By the time dinner comes around, it's like, you're stuffed
Yeah.
before the dinner even comes to the table.
Do you look forward to the appetizers? You wish maybe you didn't partake in that so you can get busy on the dinner table.
No, it's genuinely, it's not about the food, but I do enjoy the food that she puts out there.
Yeah, she has a homemade dip with the bread dip thing.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
thing where she guts out the bread part and puts dip in it.
Oh, that's fucking killer. I don't even know what it's. I've been eating it for about 20 years. I have no idea what it's called.
It's mystery. It's probably spam or something.
Yeah.
But I like it.
it's damn good. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
But no, just getting together with the fam is always the thing I look most forward to. The food is just those added bonuses,
Yeah. I enjoy us all sitting around and just shooting the shit, but we've always been able to do that and laugh. So, and to have the next day off, I don't know if you're off on the Friday, but to go home that night with a belly full and then pass out and wake up the next day with nothing to do, that's a good feeling too.
Well, as a small business retailer, the next day is Black Friday, so
that's a big deal.
There's no rest for the wicked over here, Shawnee boy. No rest for the wicked.
Fuck a day.
We'll be rocking and rolling Friday, the day after. So then that whole weekend is very busy. Got some cool things in Millbrook coming up in they have a thing called the Parade of Lights that comes up on December 3rd, where, all these floats and
Oh, okay, that's a Friday, I think.
yeah, it's the Friday after Thanksgiving. All the surrounding towns get involved, like the next town over's whole fire department's coming. It's usually like three rows deep on the sidewalks. It's a nice parade,
Yeah,
if weather permitting, but they didn't have it last year, so everybody's looking forward to it this year.
gotcha.
In fact, our previous guest on the podcast, John McDonald, is going to be the master of ceremonies. He's going to get all his DJ equipment out, and I guess he announces people as they go by, because they shut all the streets down in the town. And he had asked me to co-master of ceremony the thing, but there's been a change of plans and whatever. He said it'd be all right if I just do it myself because it's a smaller whatever. I said, listen, that just means I won't have to come up with the flu that day. I said I'd do it and then immediately regretted saying I do it.
No, yeah, like 5 6 8. Like, why the fuck did I say yes?
Yeah, why did I say yes to that? But he told me
Yeah.
to say that
The
whatever.
master of ceremony.
Yes. And in the podcast, we have a very huge celebrity coming for our last season 1 finale. The biggest celebrity in the world.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So
And we also have a thing on the 11th of December here in Millbrook. Like there's a thing called the Millbrook Arts Group, and they're having music up and down the block. And then one of the schools over here is having all their kids do caroling and all that crap. So we're having that major celebrity come in that day too. Saint Nick.
Gotcha. Nice.
And that's December 11th. So you should actually come up to Millbrook that day. You might enjoy it.
That's a Saturday. I think I'm gonna be able to. I think I can come up for that.
Yeah, nobody be teaching on Saturdays. What's up?
No, yeah, no, yeah, that and I'm free. Like that's a weekend where I don't have much going on, and I don't do any more Christmas shopping in person besides one store. So I do everything online. So
Well, then come up and hang out here, and you can also visit your mother.
Yeah, she would like that. She would appreciate that.
Yeah. Put that on your Google Calendar.
It's too bad it's not December 12th.
That's a
12,
but why?
12, December for 12, and then the 12th is senior cut day in high school.
Senior what?
Cut day in high school.
Senior cut day. That's a Sunday, right?
Yeah, but I don't know, for some reason.
What does that mean? The people that suck get cut from the team?
No, senior. And when I was in high school, when I was a senior, we on 12/12, we all cut school and went down to Manhattan.
Oh, do they still do that? Now they do it. I just don't feel like going today.
Yeah. But that was like, and like we went. There was a bunch of us that went down. Like my mom, my mother. She knew. Like it wasn't like a secret. It was like a kind of a tradition. Like you would just, like everyone, like most seniors don't go to school that day. At least when I was in school.
Well,
yeah. I mean, we went down to Manhattan, and I think went by the Christmas tree, even though I don't care about stuff like that. But like walked around the city. I can't remember exactly what we did. It was fucking forever ago. But.
Yes. Well, now that you're sitting back in your space chair, and we don't have the cropping that Zencastr has, I can plainly see that halo over your head.
How's it feel?
Like Casper the Friendly Ghost over there.
How about now?
Well, now I can't see the halo, but
Did you like the halo?
it's a nice effect. But
Yeah, it's a nice touch, right?
yeah, nice touch.
Nice touch, Ansel.
Friendliest ghost shield. But anyway, Sean, E-boy, we'll get this out to the folks, and I think we only have one. What we discussed before the podcast, we only have one unoccupied slot left for the rest of the season.
We only have 3 more to do.
Unoccupied by a guest.
Yeah, I'm just saying we're down to our final 3 after this one. That's pretty crazy that I still can't believe that we've done over 30 podcasts. I don't know when the fuck that happened.
The one with this one that we're doing right now will be our 30th
Wow.
podcast.
Yeah, if we ever get to 100, I don't know.
And we had, I think I told you, we had 2 downloads in Moscow, Russia.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man. I mean, maybe I don't even know.
Big man in Moscow.
When you earlier, for anyone that's listening, T kind of gave me the breakdown of where our listeners come from in America, and I can't believe that it's so diverse throughout the country. Like, well, I don't know why that's happening, but I mean, it's great, it's awesome, and we appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate all of our listeners.
They're very grateful that people are just taking the time to listen. But
we didn't expect to have any listeners when we started.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, 4 of my friends are gonna listen, 5 of his friends are gonna listen. My family's gonna listen like once in a blue, and then it's just gonna like, that's it. That's what that's kind of what you think.
No, but I was reading off to you the statistics, and it's surprising, but it is what it is, and we definitely appreciate everybody, especially the ones that listen every week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't get to.
We do have one regular listener in Washington, D.C., and I'm sure it's former Vice President Joe Biden. So sorry about
Maybe
Let's Go Brandon, I was saying before. Yeah.
maybe it's Brandon.
It could be.
Yeah, maybe it's Brandon.
After this podcast, I just want you to type in "Let's Go Brandon" just to educate yourself on it, because you are the last guy in America that's never heard of that.
Okay, yeah, I'm proud of that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing
Yeah.
to avoid the news at all costs.
Yeah, just gonna keep living. Like I've been saying, I said this a lot when I was in Raleigh. I met some of my buddies, friends he's made, and this person said something, and I was just like, they're like, oh, you didn't think that was funny? I said, no, I just kept living my life.
Well, now you explain what he said.
Say it again.
What did he say?
I can't remember, but it was something that they like were looking for me to like laugh or like whatever. And I'm like, you didn't think that was funny? I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna keep living my life. I'm good.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're like, all right, so all right.
I won't comment further on that. Not even a polite giggle, just to,
No, I mean, I know I wasn't like an asshole about it. Maybe I'm saying it like in an asshole way right now. But I was, but like I said it sarcastically. But I know, like sometimes sarcastically, and sometimes even me, like I can be sarcastic as a motherfucker, and some people don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I like it, Sean. Shawnee boy,
I know
you're a great man, Shawnee boy.
Yeah, I know you like it.
Hey, my friend.
Yeah. So I mean, part of my, real quick, part of my sarcasm comes from you. So
well, that's why I'm proud of you. You do it well.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, so we'll talk to you. Looking forward to next week's podcast, and I can't say it now, but you know who the guest is, and
yep. I'll do my my due diligence.
Yes, and so you look at his website, and you look at just type in "Let's Go Brandon."
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right when we get off.
Okay, all right, Shawnee boy, you take care of yourself. I forgot how to hit the stop button on Zoom. It's been a minute since we used Zoom. That's a newfangled term. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's big for me to use that term. But anyway, all right, Sean, we'll talk to you in the near future.
All right.